What's up, my friends? Max Uhas here, and I'm gonna do something different today because usually it's me talking about whatever I talk about. So I don't know if that's really gonna be anything different because I'm still gonna talk about what I want to talk about. But one of the best books I read on on art, and it's not like art history. It's not like how to. It's not whatever. Or like how to create or how to do this or how to whatever. It's this book by Austin Kleon called "Steal Like an Artist." Now, let me tell you what's so great about this book. Okay, so "Steal Like an Artist." I bought this book probably about a year ago or so, and how do I even put it? Like basically one of the because I actually agree with this guy on a lot of things, and like pretty much that like nothing is original, and that basically everything like art and creativity is kind of like a constant evolution of thoughts and ideas and processes and designs and everything else. So it's like if you're a fine artist, right? Like obviously you studied other fine artists. If you're a digital artist, odds are you probably studied what other digital artists were doing and the people that inspired you to do what you do now. So basically it's like if you want to get as good as somebody or get better than somebody that you're a big fan of, the best way to do it is almost to kind of not necessarily steal from them, but to like emulate them and then kind of backwards engineer what they did to become as good as they are. Because basically it's like you're actually. And what's cool is I rearranged my whole office, so like now I have my whiteboard behind me. I haven't erased anything off of it yet because I was working on something else, but I was almost gonna turn around and do some things. But what do I mean? Well, I mean like this, right? Like, let's just say you wanted to, you were a huge fan of like, I should probably think of something, right? I'm gonna edit this. But let's just say you wanted to create something uh, like awesome. Hold on, I gotta pause this real quick. Can I pause this? I can't pause this. Hold on. I'm glad I'm not live streaming this. Yeah, I need everybody to get along. Do we understand? Okay. So what do I mean? So let's just say you're a huge fan of like just digital art, okay? Or you want to be, or you almost want to like recreate somebody's success. Like what you need to do is figure out like obviously like study them and like know what there is to know about them, and then kind of like if you're going to, my thing is this, right? If you want to get as good as somebody, like you have to like understand not necessarily just what they do, but why they do it, and like what almost like what they're thinking like while they're creating. But then at the same time, it's like figure out what who their influences were. You know what I mean? Like where did they get their ideas from? Like who inspired them to do to do what they do? Because there's a lot of different ways to be creative. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different ways to create in general. But like I think realistically, like when it's done right, we all kind of inspire each other. And I mean, like I take, and this isn't just like in art. This is like in life too. Like I've had guys that I hired on for my business before that like they were brand new 2 days on the job, and like they taught me something because they're looking at how my business ran, how things worked, and they were looking at it from a fresh pair of eyes. So they were, basically there was no like this is how we do it, this is how we don't do it. It was more like, well, let me just try this. And a lot of times it was just like, holy crap, man, that worked. It was just like, wow, what did you think? Well, it just seemed, it just seemed logical. It just seemed like whatever. Well, I just figured I'd ask. Whereas like the way I was taught to do things may have seemed a little obsolete or whatever. But I don't know, dude. I just think this is a pretty awesome book. Like I picked it up at uh, Kinko's for like $10. But there's a lot of great just content in here. It's like it's about writing. It's about creating. You know, basically like start copying what you love, copy, 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 and at the end of the copy, you will find yourself. Okay, and that's not even his quote. That's Yoji Yamamoto. You know, the human hand is incapable of creating a perfect copy. So no matter how much you emulate somebody, like it'll never be the exact copy. It'll actually be like your own version of it. Oh man, yeah. So here's the thing, and there's this wonderful chart here, right? There's like good theft and bad theft, right? Like good theft is like honoring, studying, stealing from many people. Give credit to the people that are inspiring you, which is very very important. Transform yourself and like remix what they're doing. And then there's like bad theft, you know what I mean? Where it's like basically you're just copying somebody's shit, like just like literally copying somebody's shit and then claiming that it's your own. There are ways to be inspired by people, and there are ways to like, if what they're doing is working, there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with basically like basing your style, or if you're like trying to figure out like what kind of art you want to do, or even like what kind of marketing you want to do, or what kind of, just whatever you do, you know what I mean? Like there has to be some type of foundation that works that you're going to emulate, because that's really what is important. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily about stealing somebody's idea. It's about basically taking what they do, and then making it better or making it your own. Okay, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a recipe for food. I mean, like I'm sure like your grandmother's recipe, or you have like your own favorite recipe, but like I like to tweak recipes. Like it's basically, well, this is my grandmother's recipe, but I really like it if I threw in this. You know what I mean? Add some bacon. Because bacon makes everything better, right? But take it. You know what I mean? Take what they're doing, take what works, and work with it and make it your own. So that way it's almost like, I don't see anything wrong with somebody saying, hey, your style's a lot like this or your style's a lot like that, because you're always going to get that. You know what I mean? You're always going to get that as an artist. Like somebody's always going to compare you to somebody else, because if they're unfamiliar with your work and they've never seen anything like that, like there has to be, okay, so don't take this offensively, there has to be a connection for most people in their brain, like how they connect you and how they classify you. So it's actually a good thing that you're taking inspiration from other people and giving them props and giving them shout outs for like, yes, I really like such and such's work, I really like the way this person creates. And I just know this, like I take bits and pieces from just about anybody and everybody that I possibly can, and then try to like make it my own, because to me that like it helps me grow and it helps me create and it helps keep me fresh. And it's not just like the same thing over and over and over again, but it is. But it's like I'll do the same thing over and over again, but I'll try something new. I'll add, well, I really like what that person did with that, let me try that. And it helps me create, it helps me sell, it helps me, it actually helps me sell a whole lot, because it's like if I'm studying some other salesperson, I'm going to do my best to kind of like emulate what I feel that they're doing works, or what they're doing that like makes me want to connect with them more. The same way if I'm studying an artist or I'm studying somebody's other styles, if I think it helps me, then I know it can help you. So that's pretty much it. If you haven't bought it, or if you've never heard of it, dude, this book's pretty awesome. Steal Like an Artist. I recommend reading it. You know what I mean? It's actually a really good read, and it's pretty eye-opening, and it may help you just think. You know what I mean? Like open up your creative juices. Get your creative juices flowing. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to work. Love you. Thanks. Share the video. Subscribe. Do whatever you need to do, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.